What's up, y'all? Shanna Christmas here. It's been a minute, and I am back with a new segment I'm going to try out, and it's called Healthcare is a Joke, because that's exactly what it is. And it's not really funny, but we're going to try to find some humor in it. So most of you probably don't know, but I have a background in healthcare. I am a certified occupational therapy assistant, and I've been doing this work for 10 years, off and on 10 years, mostly traveling. So when you hear about all these traveling nurses, they also have traveling surgical techs, traveling therapists, traveling x-ray techs, traveling everybody. Everybody's traveling, okay, and getting the bag. But I recently had to go back to doing this job this year because all the other jobs didn't want to give me more than a few hours a week. And I can't live like that. How, Sway? And so I'm back doing a traveling contract in Oakland, California. It's been nice, but it has not been nice. Anyway, for those of you who don't know what occupational therapy is, I think it's important for us to just get to the basics of what I actually do at work all day. So I'm sure you guys have all heard of physical therapy. Occupational therapy partners with that, and speech therapy. But occupational therapy is a bit tricky because people always think occupation means work. And although that's what it means, everyone has a job. So from birth to death, there is a job you should be doing, you could be doing. And it's not about making money. It's about being healthy and independent as possible. So occupational therapy focuses on basic self-care skills. It's just taking care of yourself. So while walking is important, I always ask my patients, would you rather be able to walk or use your hands? And they say walk. And I go, well, how are you going to go somewhere if you don't have any clothes on because you can't get dressed? And they go, oh. So having your arms is probably more important than having your legs. And I get it, but you can't brush your teeth. You can't comb your hair. You're not cooking. I mean, there's ways you can do it with your feet, but it's probably a lot longer to do. And so occupational therapy focuses on you being as independent as possible, no matter where you are in that level. So even newborn babies, they have a job. A newborn baby's job is to eat and poop, right? If a baby is having problems latching onto the mother's breast, a therapist will come in and work on their musculature in their mouths to help them develop that power to actually pull and suck so they can eat. That is their job, is to eat. And all the way up until almost death. I mean, even though you are on your deathbed, I mean, we want you to be able to do some things for yourself, even as just grabbing a cup of water and drinking, or being able to sit up and have a conversation. You need therapy for that as well. It's not great, but there is a level of independence that I think we can all have throughout our life. And that's what OT does. And I typically work in nursing homes. That's my bread and butter because it's got the highest burnout. People quit a lot because it's the hardest setting to work in. And the reason why it's the hardest is because older people have harder issues. They've got more, arthritis and limitations and dementia. And on top of that, you've got people who run these places and they suck. And that's where I'm at with it. These places, these nursing homes, if you can avoid keeping your family member out of one of these nursing homes, I hope that you do, because those places will eventually kill your loved one. I'm just being serious. I'm being honest. The amount of unethical things that are happening in these places, you can't, it's really, really bad. So I suggest if you can take care of them, you should do it on your own because it's really bad. Even before the pandemic, I worked in places that were just like madhouses. Like I was in New York, 17-story nursing homes, not enough staff, not enough staff has been an issue since the beginning of time. There's never going to be enough staff. They don't want to pay people to do the work. And that work is really freaking hard. I was a CNA for 4 years. I know what that job is like. Lifting up people that are dead weight, getting beat up, spat on, kicked, cussed out, that too. It's traumatizing as well because you have to be nice to them after they cuss your ass out. And I don't think that's fair, honestly, I often joke with my patients, hey, there's a number for you to call when you're being abused, but there's no number for us when you abuse us. We just got to deal with it, okay? It's a very hard job. And I'm always trying to keep up to date with what state I'm in because every state has their own scope of practice for each therapist. And so I'm always trying to make sure I don't lose my license by doing something that I'm not supposed to do, because the people up top are greedy and want you to lie about things. And I've been running into that for a long time. And in terms of therapy, the way that's different is that we have productivity standards where we have to be able to see all of our patients and document within the 8 hours. And they want that number to be 90%, which essentially gives you 40 minutes of documentation time when you're seeing 15 patients. So you're seeing 15 people a day. Sometimes the therapy session is only 30 minutes. And you have to get 2 15-minute breaks legally and a lunch break. So you guys let me know if that's possible to do ethically, right? It's been really a struggle for me because I actually want to help, and I'm still of the mindset that I want to help people, and most people around me are not like that. And the pandemic really shed a light on that too, where it's just people just trying to make money, and it's a top-down approach. That trickle-down stuff they was telling you about with the government is in healthcare too, and it's not trickling down. You got people up top that have never touched a patient in their entire lives, 28-year-olds who just graduated with their master's degree in business administration, and they want to make money. And healthcare is a business model because we live in a capitalist society, and so we don't want to take care of people unless they pay us to do so. And it sucks. But they don't want to hire enough nurses, which means, you got 2 nurses for 60 patients at this place that I'm working at. That's insane to do, by the way. And then you only have so many CNAs, and they've got all these patients. Some people are bedbound. They can't get up. They're putting 4 or 5 patients in one room sometimes, and the curtains don't close. There's no, it's so much going on, and it's really horrible, and I hate it a lot. I hate being there. And it's really hard to be one of the good people trying to do a good job when you're surrounded by all the chaos. And I get it. Some of the CNAs want to do a good job too, but if they would hire maybe 1 or 2 more CNAs, they would have more time to be helpful to the patients. But the people up top don't want to pay. They just want to make money. And that's where I'm frustrated with right now. It's just being surrounded by this chaos, and there's nothing I can do. And I try to make my therapy sessions really helpful and good, as short as they are. And in order to keep my productivity up, I have to cut corners with the timing. So if it's 30 minutes of treatment, we might only be able to do 20 because I have to spend 10 minutes doing paperwork. You know what I mean? And so that doesn't help the patient get better, which is essentially what I went to school for, is to help people get better. And it's a frustrating part of the field right now. And I think a lot of people don't understand what's happening in nursing homes either. And I think this is really important stuff that we should look at, because at some point we'll be there too, and they'll just let a robot wipe our ass. And I don't want a robot wiping my ass. They don't. Their hands are cold. So I'll be back next week with another rant. We'll explain some more things and talk about some more funny patient stories. But this was just an intro on what I'll be covering in the next couple of weeks. I don't know how long this is going to go on. I might come home from work and just tell y'all I quit. We don't know. But stay tuned for the next one, and be sure to subscribe to this channel, because I got some stuff coming up with my stand-up as well that I would love for you to see. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.